Good morning. Welcome to 10 at 10. We're going to look a little bit more in Mark chapter 9. We left off there yesterday. So I want us to go back there today. I want us to look at these scriptures in Mark 9, 22, 23, 24. And then we're going to look at scriptures throughout the rest of the Bible dealing with the area of favoritism. So in Mark 9:22, it says, it tries over and over to kill him by throwing him into the fire or water. But please, if you're able to do something, anything, have compassion on us and help us. Now, if you remember, this is a story about a man who comes to Jesus with a boy. The boy has a demonic spirit that is troubling the child. And the man is asking Jesus to do something. Excuse me. Here's Jesus' response. Verse 23. Jesus said to him, "What do you mean if? If you are able to believe, all things are possible to the believer." When he heard this, the boy's father cried out with tears, saying, "I do believe. Lord, help my little belief." Or in some versions it says, I believe, but help me in my unbelief. Now, I shared yesterday, and I'll share it again today, what I believe in this last verse of the dialogue that's going on from the Father to Jesus and saying, "I believe, but help me in my unbelief," is this father has heard Jesus minister to people all over. He's heard the accounts of the lepers. He's heard the accounts of the blind. He's heard all different accounts. But this man is so invested into his situation that it's almost like he's saying, I believe you can heal. I believe you can set people free. I believe you can do all those things, but can you do something for us? Even if it's not the whole thing. And then Jesus is saying, if, then he throws in something that is very important. He says, if you are able to believe, all things are possible to the believer. Acts chapter 10, verse 34 is a pretty important verse from the Apostle Peter, who was one of the disciples. Peter was a Jew. Peter really had issues with Gentiles, those getting saved and coming into Christendom. But he says in Acts 10:34, I now realize how true it is that God does not show favoritism. And I want to put out to you today that God does not show favoritism when it comes to healing. In other words, he'll heal you, but he won't heal me. He'll heal the little boy, but he won't heal a woman. Sometimes we get caught up in our situation, and we say things like, we may not say it vocally, but we say it in our minds. I know he'll do it for Pastor Peggy, but not me. I don't think that God's going to do it for me because you just don't know my past. Well, let's look at the character of God in favoritism. Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 17 says, "For the Lord your God is God of gods and Lord of lords, the great God, mighty and awesome, who shows no partiality and accepts no bribes." 2 Chronicles 19:7. "Now let the fear of the Lord be upon you," or the reverence of the Lord be upon you. "Judge carefully, For the Lord your God, or our God, there is no injustice or partiality or bribery. Then in Romans chapter 2, verse 11, for God does not show favoritism. I think that's pretty simple. God does not show favoritism. But let's add one more. Job chapter 34, verse 19. Who shows no partiality to princes, and does not favor the rich over the poor, for they are all the work of his hands. And really, part of this verse shows us the character of God. God is not going to do something for kings and queens and not do it for common folk, because God made both. Now, in our minds, we may think because of a level of importance in society, someone else may be able to receive more than us. But Jesus died on the cross for you and for me. And Jesus did not get up on the cross, or he did not pay the price in his body through the beatings, then being on the cross, dying. He did not do those things for certain groups of people. He did it for all. For God so loved all the world that he gave his son. So healing is for you. And as Jesus spoke to the man with the son, he says, if you believe. How do we believe? Romans chapter 10 says that if we'll confess with our mouth, believe with our heart that God raised Jesus from the dead and Jesus is Lord, we shall believe. The verse before that talks to us about belief. How we believe is we say, yes, Lord, healing is from you and healing is for me. And I receive it, and I recognize you don't play favorites. So it is mine today. I receive it. God bless and have a great day.